to start a new lesson, that is solid state chemistry. See, this chapter deals with, it is nothing but the material science. That is, mostly in this chapter we discuss about that is physical properties of the materials, structure of the materials, solid materials, properties of the solid materials, interrelation between the structure and properties of the solid materials, and modification of the structure based on the properties. That is, that information we can modify the microstructure of the solid to introduce the required mechanical properties. Say, we can say that electrical properties also, magnetic properties also. One, mainly being chemistry, the student, you have to know the structure of the solids, the arrangement pattern of the material particles in the solid material, which are known as the crystalline structures. See, first of all, what is material or what is the matter? Just to have an understanding. The physical entity, that is, which has a physical existence, the physical entity which occupies some space and possess some rest mass, some mass, is called as the material. The physical entity which occupies some space and possess mass, certain mass, a fixed mass, is called as the material or matter. Say the matter, that is called as the matter. One thing. See, the matter is made up of basically some, that is the elementary particles. See, according to the old theories and old concepts, that is the atom or materials are all types of materials are made up of the electrons, protons and neutrons. These are the fundamental particles. That is, due to the combination of the aggregation of the electrons, protons and neutrons, the materials are formed. This is the old concept. So, electrons, protons and neutrons are three types of particles are considered as the subatomic particles, and they are considered as that is elementary particles. No, the modern theories are not accepting. So the particle which cannot be further divided into the other particles is called as the smaller particles is called as that is elementary particle. Now there are mainly, if you go in detail, it's a big history and all these things, and there's the elementary particles. That is, there are two types of elementary particles. Leptons and quarks. These are the only, that is, fundamental particles. So there are the 6 types of leptons. That is, one leptons, electron is a fundamental lepton, belongs to lepton. That is, muon, muon, and that is the third one is the tau. These are the fundamental particles. So these three types of fundamental particles are called as the leptons. So here there are three fundamental particles are the leptons and the antimatter particles, the antimaterial particles. That is the 3 plus 3 6. The antiparticle. Similarly here the quarks also, there are 3 quarks, up, down, and that is charm, up, down, charm. There are, that is, one is up, other is down, this is charm. 3 fundamental particles. These are the actually fundamental particles, right? These are the fundamental particles. Now, what about our neutrons and protons? See, according to our concepts, our basic concepts, elementary concepts of the science, physics or chemistry, that is electrons, protons and neutrons are the fundamental particles. But many times we have seen that division of the neutron into proton and electron, that is division of the proton into neutron, that is and that is some other particle. See here, now the question is, and what about the protons? And the protons are formed and the neutrons are formed due to the combination of these elementary particles, that is quarks. From quarks, that is protons and neutrons are forming. So protons and neutrons are not the elementary particles, they are formed due to the combination of that is, what do you say, that is protons and neutrons, sorry, that is quarks, different quarks. These are the fundamental particles. So that is there are 3 fundamental particles of the quarks and their antiparticles. There 3 plus 3 6, 3 plus 3 6. Total there are 12 fundamental particles. So what we are using, among the 3 types of subatomic particle, only electron is the fundamental particle, proton and neutron two are not the fundamental particle. They are formed due to the combination of the different fundamental particles which belongs to the quarks. They are called as these two comes under the category of the baryons. So these two are formed, protons and neutrons are formed due to the combination of the three different quarks. There are 6 different, that is the quarks, 3 plus 3. So proton and neutrons are formed. So combined due to the combination, due to the association of the different the quarks, protons and neutrons are formed. Their charge also we can explain. The neutral charge and the positive charge by taking the charges of the up, charm, down and the other this one, the 3 other, the antiparticles, antimatter. So that is this comes under the category of the baryons. So irrelevant here talking this one is. But it is a chance to, when we go into the nuclear chemistry, there we talk about that is the fundamental particle, elementary particles. See here, all due to the combination of the elementary particles. The elementary particles are combined. Due to the combination of the elementary particles, the atoms of the different elements are formed. So there are different elements. So for each element, the ultimate particle is that is which has the existence, that is identity of the element is shown by the, that is atom. Different atoms are formed. Atoms of the different elements are formed due to the combination of the, that is the electrons, protons and neutrons, and that is the leptons and the quarks. Leptons and quarks are involved in the formation of the, that is atoms of the different elements. The next thing is the, and next one, these are, that is these atoms are, atoms of the different elements are the combining each other to form that is molecules. Due to the aggregation of the atoms and molecules, the materials are formed. So ultimately, the materials are whatever the matter which we defined is nothing but the aggregation of the, that is leptons and quarks. Leptons, quarks leads to the formation of the atoms of the different elements. Atoms of the different elements, they combine each other to form the different materials. These materials are made up of the leptons and quarks. So that is the, in a given substance, that is molecule is the ultimate particle, atom or molecule is the ultimate particle. The every material is made up of, that is atoms or molecules. This is the one part of the, that is one information about the material. Material is nothing but the aggregation of the molecules or atoms. The next one is, see, these materials, matter, exists in the several physical states. The every substance exists in several physical states. The important physical states are, there are three important physical states. Matter, materials, a given substance, normally we call it as the substance. A given substance exists in one of the three physical states: gaseous state, this you know, liquid state, and third one is the solid state. But there are several other states which we cannot, even I cannot fully justify your this thing, and that is plasma state, fully ionized form. That is a fully ionized form of the gas is called as the, that is and plasma form and plasma state. So there are several other states also. The physical properties are that's not important. These are the important. This one. See, if you take the gold, it exists in the solid state at room temperature. We take the temperature as the reference. If you take the H2O, that exists in the liquid state at room temperature, which we call it as the water. You take the nitrogen at room temperature, it exists as, that is gas. So different compounds or different materials exist in the different physical states at a given temperature. But see, the temperature, the physical state is the that is function of temperature. It is a function of temperature. That depends on the H2O. It's a chemically H2O. This is the material. Above, that is greater than 100 degrees Celsius, exists in gas form. That is between the 0 and 100 degrees Celsius. It exists in liquid state. Below less than 0 degrees Celsius, it exists in solid state, which we know it as, call it as the ice, water, and the steam or vapor, water vapor. This is the. So the solid state is not the property of the any particular substance. Every substance exists in 3 physical states. But that is the, it is a function of temperature. So it is a function of temperature. As increase the temperature, it goes into the liquid state, solid goes into the liquid state, liquid goes into the vapor state or gaseous state. See, it's a function of temperature. And now we are bothered about the solids. We are discussing about the chemistry related to the only solids, not the liquids and gases that we have already discussed. So these two are called as the, that is translational motion is possible. These two are fluidity. The both are called as the fluids because due to the translational motion, the solid state translational motion is not possible. Now, what are the factors now? Factors that decide the physical state. Why some are in the solid state and some are in the liquid state and some are in the gaseous state at the given temperature? I told you at room temperature we have taken the 3 examples. What are the factors? I told you basically it is the function of the temperature. So no substance permanently exists in solid state or permanently exists in liquid state or permanently exists in that is the gaseous state. See, to decide the physical state, that is 2 properties to be taken into consideration. What are those 2 properties? That is intermolecular attractions. Attractions. That is, the materials are made up of molecules or atoms. Aggregation of the molecules or atoms. Now we are talking about the interrelation between the molecules. Let us take it as the molecular compound molecules. So when the between the particles, a sort of attractions are existing. The attractions that are existing between the material particles or molecules of the material are called as the intermolecular attractions. Due to these attractions, the molecule cannot move from one place to other place. This is the hindrance to move freely move the particles from one place to other place. That the attractions are, a sort of attractions are existing. That is, this is intermolecular attractions are responsible for the orderly arrangement of the material particles in the solid. That is B, that is thermal energy. Thermal energy, which is thermal energy. This is the energy acquired due to the temperature, heat conditions. So this is thermal energy. Due to the thermal energy, that is the internal energy content of the material increases, the vibrating tendency. So that depends on this thing. This is responsible for the orderly arrangement of the material particles. This thermal energy is responsible for the disorderness of the system. That is, through this energy, molecules tries to move from one place to other place. They are with the energy possessed by the molecule. It is trying to overcome the attractions present around it and comes out of the that is attractions and tries to become free. It is trying to increase its entropy, disorderness of the system. See, these two are the opposite. This is for the that is the orderly arrangement. This is the orderly arrangement. It is not allowing the particles to move. This is allowing the particles to move. Now whether it is in the state, the which physical state depends on that is intermolecular in the existing intermolecular attractions and available thermal energy of the molecule. Suppose if if strong intermolecular attractions are present and thermal energy associated with the material particles is not sufficient, very less thermal energy. So, molecules are not possessing the required amount of energy to overcome the attractions present around it. Therefore, they are confined to the fixed positions in the material and they can't move from one place to other place. So, if that is intermolecular energy and thermal energy, if these two are taken, intermolecular attractions are greater than that of the attractions existing between the material particles of the substance are greater than that of the thermal energy. Then they are confined to the material particles are confined to their fixed positions. They cannot move from one place to other place. That state is called as the solid state. That is called as the solid state. So, a material is existing in the solid state means that is the material particles are experiencing the very strong intermolecular attractions. The thermal energy that is available with the associated with the material particles is not sufficient to overcome the attractions. Therefore, they are confined to the fixed positions in the material. That state is called as and the other thing is because of the attractions, as the attractions increases, the intermolecular distance increases, they are closely packed and intermolecular distance is very, very less. And that state is called as the solid state. Nothing, you take the solid. Now give the temperature. Why it is in the solid state and why it is not in the liquid state? Why the material particles are confined to that material? Why that is not coming out of the material? Because of the attractions, intermolecular attractions. Now what we are doing? We are heat it and increase the temperature. As the temperature increases, there is no much influence on the intermolecular attractions, but the thermal energy of the material particles increases. As the energy of the material particles that are held in the solid increases, they vibrate. That is, they vibrate. The frequency of the vibration increases. As further increases, at one point what happens? They can overcome the attractions around them. They become the free. Thermal energy now is nearly equal to the intermolecular energy. Then what happens? It goes into it comes into a state where material particles are not confined to the fixed positions. They move from one place to other place within the system, but they are confined to these two are comparable, nearly same. Therefore, that state is called, they move from one place to, they acquire the translational motion. That is, they are called as translation, that state is called as the liquid state. And if you increase the temperature, the thermal energy further increase, the material particles increases, they totally overcome the attractions present around it and moves into the space, that is where the what molecules are separated by large intermolecular distance. That state is called as that is gaseous state. So that is intermolecular attractions are nearly thermal energies, nearly attractions are intermolecular attractions are nearly, that is comparable with the, that is thermal energy, kinetic energy of the thermal energy, that is what happens, that exists in the liquid state. The third thing is that still molecules are experiencing the attractions. The intermolecular energies, intermolecular attractions is, that is less than that of the thermal energy. Thermal energy that is provided to the system is, that is greater than that of the intermolecular attractions, then fully that overcome the what all the attractions present around it, and that it becomes the free, that is called as the gaseous state. That becomes gaseous state. That is the thermal energy and intermolecular attractions. These two opposing factors are deciding the physical state of the material. Therefore, intermolecular attractions are same, but what you are doing, you are increasing the temperature and by providing the we are increasing the thermal energy. So, what is the solid state now? Thermal energy, that is molecules are becoming free. So that is, they are overcoming the attractions and coming out in the form of there is no relation between the one molecule and other molecule. That state is called as the gaseous state. So what is solid state? That is there the material particles experience the strong intermolecular attractions. Intermolecular attractions are many times more than that of the many times more than that of the, that is the thermal energy. Therefore, that is that state is called as the molecules are in the material are experiencing the strong attractions from the around it. That is, they are closely packed. Material particles are closely packed. That state is called as that is a solid state. Now, this is that is a solid. What happens to the solid? That's why some of them are solid. There's some materials have that is strong experience the strong intermolecular attractions, and thermal energy associated with the material particles is very less compared to the intermolecular attractions. Therefore, that is exists in a particular physical state. That state we defined as the solid state. The next one is, and here in the solid state chemistry, see what we do is, so that is mostly the solid, here this we can divide the solid state chemistry into three parts for our convenience, for our understanding. So that is one is the internal structure of the solid. That is, first part is the discussing the knowing the internal structure of the solid, the arrangement pattern of the material particles in the solid. So in the refined way, we say that is the crystal structures of the different solids. Different crystal structures. How the material particles through which geometry, that is the material particles are arranged in the solid in a particular geometry. in a particular three-dimensional array. So that is gives the idea about the internal structure of the distinct crystal structures of the solids. First part is the knowing the internal structures or crystal structures of the solids. One. Second one is the crystal defects. So the ideal system is not possible. Everywhere defects are possible, and defects that are commonly observed in the solid materials. Material defects, Frankel defects and Schottky defects and creep, and that is the line defects, and there are many types of defects. Second part is the discussing about the defects of the solids. Defects of crystal structures. The third one is that is physical properties of the solids, not chemical properties. The chapter nothing to do with that is the chemistry part. The electrons are gone, electrons are the accepted by this and that, and the change of oxidation number and all these things are nothing to do with this chemistry. Only this is the physical science. To understand this, what is required? Just imagination is required. Not any other thing. Just imagination is required. So, if you are properly understand the concepts, and if you use your that is the imagination, see, solid state is very, 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 very easy. Particularly for the mathematics students, it is very, 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 very easy to subject, and it is important also. That is for GA and NEET is a very important topic. The clean, no exceptions, less exceptions, and this thing for teacher and student is very, 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 very convenient. This thing. So, physical. What are the physical properties that we discuss? We discuss about the electrical properties. We discuss about the material. That is that depends on a solid mechanical properties, the electrical properties, semiconductors, superconductors, that is semiconductor, electrical properties, that is magnetic properties, that is whether material is magnetizable or not, that is ferromagnetism, ferrimagnetism, anti-ferrimagnetism. There are many, that's the terminology and many. So, in the third part, we discuss about some physical properties of the materials that are related to the conductance and magnetic properties, that is etc. So, for our convenience, we divide this solid state chemistry, that is information that to be provided under the heading of the solid state, that is divided into three parts. That is one is the crystal structures, which give the internal structure of the solids. The second part is the defects that commonly seen in the solids, and third part is that is physical property, electrical and that is the magnetic properties of the solid materials. Many other properties, piezoelectric effects and all these things, there are many things, and all are physical properties. That is, we are away from the chemistry and chemical reactions. This is this one. And now, what are the common, the properties of the solids? See, common one, we say that solids, I told you, the solids are formed due to the aggregation of the material particles, molecules or atoms or ions. So, aggregation, they are very closely packed. So, therefore, because of these solids have fixed mass. Every material has whether gas or liquid or all. This statement is valid to all three physical states. So time to time the mass of the material will not change. Even it takes part in the chemical reaction, there will be no change in the mass of the material. Just they write it. The fixed mass, volume and shape. So every solid has its own shape. Fixed shape, fixed volume and shape. The second one is their solids are rigid. They are very rigid. That's why it is rigid. Liquids are not rigid, and that is because material particles are very closely packed. There is no space between the material particles. Therefore, they are rigid. The stone, you take the chalk or whatever it is, you take any solid material, it is very rigid because material particles are very, very closely packed due to the strong intermolecular attractions. They are very rigid. The third one is the incompressible. So it cannot be compressed. So because of solids strong intermolecular attractions. And fourth one is the intermolecular distance is less. Intermolecular distance is less. Molecular distance is very, 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 very less. Intermolecular distance, that is the distance between the molecules in the gaseous state. That is the intermolecular distance. They are separated by the large intermolecular distance. As the distance increases, the attractions are weak. Molecular attractions, as the distance increases, attractions decreases. So that is intermolecular distance is very less. Therefore, intermolecular attractions are very strong. That is they are incompressible. That is and these are the important properties, and we can write about one or two and see this and leave that part. These are the characteristic properties of this thing. And if you want to talk about this thing, and that is the one, the other property is the no translational motion. If the material particles have in the gaseous state and liquid state, that is translational motion is possible. Translational motion is possible. And whereas in the solid state, translational motion is not possible because of the strong intermolecular attractions, but they vibrate. That is, they vibrate from their mean position. Just slightly they move from their position, but they can't move from one place to other place within the system, like in the solid, liquid state and gaseous state. So, therefore, that is only the molecular vibrations, the vibrations of the material particles is possible, that is, and they cannot move from translational motion is not possible in the solid state. And whereas in the other two physical states, well-defined two physical states, that is vibrational and rotational motion, translational motion is possible. They can move from one place to other place and experience the collisions, intermolecular collisions. This is the next one. Now, if you come to the other thing, that is the other thing, I told you the solids are made up of the two things. So that is made up of some material particles, molecules, atoms. If you take the iodine, it is made up of iodine molecules. So if you take the sodium chloride, sodium ions and chloride ions are present in the sodium chloride crystal, solid. It is nothing but the aggregation of the sodium ions and chloride ions. If you take the sugar molecules are involved. If you take the diamond, that is the carbon atoms are involved. If you take the graphite, that is the carbon atoms are involved, some materials are involved. See, when the material particles are involved in the formation of the solid, now based on the arrangement of the material particles, the solids are classified into two types. Now we are discussing about the classification of the solids. How they are arranged in the solid. Based on the arrangement pattern of that is material particles, the solids are mainly classified into two types. One is the crystalline solid, the other one is the amorphous solid. Crystalline and amorphous solids. Some of them are called as the amorphous solids. Some of them are called as the crystalline solids. That is marble is a crystalline solid. See, sir, it's a polymorph. That is calcium carbonate is amorphous solid. There are several things, not one. And one thing is that basically it has the organized arrangement. It has the material particles are not arranged, disciplined arrangement. It is indisciplined arrangement. Here the material particles are crystalline solids are formed due to the organized arrangement of material particles. The fixed arrangement of material particles. Same type of arrangement is repeated. Everywhere same environment is seen. Same design is, same geometry is seen everywhere. Here the irregular arrangement. So basically the solids that are existing around us, solids that are around us are mainly classified into two types, that is crystalline solids and amorphous solids. The crystalline solids are crystalline solids are this is based on the arrangement of particles in the solid. See, now we take the shape. What is the difference between the shapes of the crystalline solids, and we are studying the different properties of that is crystalline and amorphous solids. Crystalline solids have the definite shape, definite arrangement and definite shapes, fixed shapes, whereas the amorphous solids have the irregular shape. Carbon block or whatever you take, the rubber, plastics, glass, that is they have the irregular shape. Shape wise, definite shape, irregular shape. Irregular arrangement leads to the irregular shape. Regular arrangement leads to the regular shape. The next one is the arrangement of the material particles. That is regular arrangement, disciplined arrangement, right? Regular arrangement, disciplined arrangement. AB. Each in the sodium chloride, you know that. And there are two types of particles, that is sodium ions and chloride ion. Each sodium ion is surrounded by the 6 chloride ions, and each chloride ion is surrounded by the 6 sodium ions. It is repeated throughout the crystal. This is the regular arrangement. Organized arrangement. Disciplined arrangement. Everywhere the same. Always you take any sodium ion, environment around the sodium ion is same. You take any chloride ion, all chloride ions are experiencing the same environment. That is, each chloride ion, anywhere, wherever it is in the crystal, that is surrounded by the 6 sodium ions. You know, that is the cesium chloride also. Each cesium ion is surrounded by the 6 chloride and vice versa. That's leave that part. And now, see, that is the regular arrangement. here irregular arrangement. Or even though you see about any regular arrangement, it is the limited to the, it is confined to the limited region. This is called as a short range arrangement. This is a long range regular arrangement. Short range regular or organized arrangement. So we can say that. So it has the regular arrangement, disciplined arrangement. It has the indisciplined arrangement. Random arrangement. This is the regular arrangement. That is the difference between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. You take the starch, you take the plastic, take the starch, you take the chalk. Chalk is very soft, porous, so it catches the ink, the water up. That is the irregular arrangement. There is no proper crystalline structure. So fixed arrangement is not repeated throughout the crystal. So irregular arrangement. And here, that is the, now we are coming to the melting points of the, comparing the melting points of the crystalline and amorphous solids. See, melting point is depends on the intermolecular attraction or interionic attraction or interparticular attraction that are existing in the crystalline, this one. Here, in the, that is the crystalline solids, in crystalline solids, what is happening? That is the, see, disciplined arrangement. A particular pattern of arrangement is repeated throughout the crystal. Particular geometrical arrangement is repeated throughout the crystal. Three-dimensionally. So that is the everywhere the attractions experienced by the, that is each and every part the attractions experience, intermolecular attractions experienced is equal. Therefore, that is melts at fixed temperature. Every crystalline solid has its own fixed temperature because of the uniform intermolecular attractions. From the solid, you take the any portion and find out the melting point. That is the, it melts at the fixed temperature. Its melting point is 120, means at 120 degrees it melts. You take the ice, that is it is a solid, heat it melts at, that is the 0 degrees Celsius. Every crystalline solid melts at fixed temperature. Whereas if you come to the, that is amorphous solid, they do not melt at fixed temperature. They melt over a range of temperature. So that it starts at 110, and that is at 110 degrees melting is started, but entire material is not melting. You take the ice, it melts at 0 degrees Celsius only. Till entire ice come into the liquid state, there will be no change in the temperature of the system, phase transfer. But here it starts at the 110 slowly and temperature increases at 130, the totally that is collapsed, that is converted into the liquid form. That is, part of it is melting at 110, part of it is at the all the temperature, that is in the range of 110. This is the range, over the range. That is the material, amorphous material. What is the melting point? Amorphous material will not have the water. That is a fixed melting point. It will have the range. So it starts at 110 and it melts at and completes at 130. Then range we say that 110 to 130. Why? Why this is? Because the all portions of the solid, amorphous solid, that is material particles are not experiencing the, that is same attractions. Suppose you take a crystal at the one portion, at one point it is in the FCC structure, in the other place it is the, so like cesium chloride structure, and other place in the some other structure. That is, then what happens? The attractions experienced by the material particles are different. Therefore, that is each portion melts at a different temperature. Therefore, for complete melting of the that is the given solid substance, what is required, that is, it melts at the over a range of temperature. Therefore, this is range of temperature, right? So, fixed temperature melts at the fixed temperature, melts at the over a range of temperature. And now the heat of fusion, that is a delta H. What is the heat of fusion? That you know in the thermochemistry, that is the amount of the heat required to melting is an endothermic process. Converting the solid into liquid is an endothermic process. In that process, that is to convert the solid into liquid, some amount of the heat to be given to the system, heat energy to be given to the system. Heat of fusion, that is the amount of the heat that is required to convert the 1 mole of the solid into its corresponding liquid is called as that is molar heat of fusion or simply heat of fusion. If nothing is specified, we assume that it is for the 1 mole. So that depends on the amount of the heat required, that depends on the environment inside the crystal. Here, that is bonding environment is same in the crystal, right? Bonding environment is same in the crystal. That is, and it needs the definite amount of heat to break all those the bond attractions. Therefore, the crystalline solids have the definite heat of fusion, whereas amorphous, the amount of that is intermolecular attractions are not equal everywhere. Therefore, that is no definite heat of fusion. So material to material, that is varies, heat of fusion varies. So next one is the cleavage properties. That is when you cut it. So if it is a crystalline solid, if you cut it, then what happens? It gives the word clean cleavage. The smooth surface is left. It can be divided into 2 pieces. That is, the new surface is, the newly surface that is formed is, that is, come out is, that is, clean cleavage. The smooth, that is, cleavage. Whereas, if you take the glass and break it, then what happens? Clean cleavage is, that is not possible. The clean cleavage is possible in case of the crystalline solid, whereas that is in case of the amorphous solids, irregular cleavage is seen. That is, rough surface is formed. Clean cleavage is not possible in case of that is regular arrangement is not possible there. Irregular cleavage. And now the properties. Let me talk about the nature of the solid. Solids are called as the true solids. Crystalline solids are called as true solids. I will come to this one again. That is the true solids. They are solids, that's all. These are not showing the certain solid properties. They are called as these amorphous solids are also called as the false solids, pseudo solids. They are looking like solids, but their solid properties are less. They are not behaving like solids. They are called as the amorphous solids are called as the pseudo solids, false solids, or they are also called as the supercooled liquids. See, you know the liquid is one which has the fluid, shows the fluidity. That is, molecules move. That is the basic property of it has a fixed volume, a fixed mass and a fixed volume. But it do not have the fixed shape. That is and so why they are called as the amorphous solids are called as the supercooled liquids. So liquid is one where the molecules move from one place to other place. See, in the amorphous solids also, that is the molecules are moving, flowing down. If you take that's why they are not, they are existing in the solid state. But showing some liquid properties moving. Therefore, that's why they are called as that is super cooled. that is liquids which are existing in the solid state. The description may be wrong, contradicting. That is this one. See, if you take the glass, if you take the mirror, old mirrors, say that's a plain glass, that's a mirror has the, take the mirror has the plain surface. Its thickness should be uniform. So you can, clearly you can see the image, your image. See, with time what happens, the molecules which are associated with the sheet, they slowly flow down. They flows down. Due to this what happens, the surface becomes unequal, or the thickness becomes that is unequal. The bottom becomes the thick, the top becomes the upper part becomes the thin. Then you can see the deformity in the mirror. So here the molecules of the glass are material particles which are associated with the mirror, glassy mirror. They are moving down. If you see the glass windows, the pans that are fixed in the glass pans fixed in the windows, in case of old, if you give the sufficient time to them, then what happens at the upper part, they become the thin, lower part, they become the thick. Because the molecules are slowly flowing. It is not fast. It is very, 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 very slow process. Very, very, very slow process. Glass has this property. And due to this what happens, that is the transparent glass becomes the opaque, milky, because of this, the fluidity, that is there is a flowing nature of the molecules of the glass. That is, therefore they are called as the supercooled liquids. And what are the examples of the crystalline? Say anything that is metals, salts, sodium chloride, anything you can take. There is no this thing at all. That is, these are all the crystalline solids. So that is diamond or whatever it is. That's you can take any example. That is sugar. So that is you can see the cubic structure. Cubic crystals can be seen in that is small particle, that is the sugar. All these are all come under the category of that is crystalline solids. And plastics, rubber, glass, these are all. Plastics are the big molecule. They can't properly orient. They align like this. That is, alignment is not proper. This is here also in the rubber also. That is this sort of network is existing. That network is not uniform throughout the rubber material inside. That is changing, that sulfur bonding and all these things during the vulcanization changes and improper arrangement. All the molecules are not experiencing that is same intermolecular attractions. Molecule to molecule it varies. That is and rubber, plastics, rubber, glass, chalk. These are all the example of that is here marble, hard, weak intermolecular attractions, but they existing in the solid state. So these are this one. And now what is here one thing we left, physical properties of this thing. These are anisotropic, these are isotropic, anisotropic, isotropic, anisotropic. That is the one term we use in that is the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. See here, the physical properties of the crystalline solids. I am talking about the crystalline solids. Physical properties of the crystalloids are, until the given crystalline solid shows different physical properties through different directions. The direction, that is its crystalline solid Refractive index depends on the side direction. That depends on the direction. So same substance shows the different refractive indexes. Refractive indices. Refractive index. Refractive index of the given crystalline solid depends on the direction through which the light is passing. Next, that is specific resistance. Also depends on the direction. So that is and next, thermal expansion. Thermal properties. That is electrical properties, refractive index. These are the for crystalline solids. These depend on the thermal properties, electrical properties, and refractive index depends on the direction. Therefore, such phenomena is called as the anisotropic. That property is called as the anisotropic or an isotropic. And whereas in case of the amorphous solids, that is physical properties are same, refractive index, electrical property, that is specific resistance, and the other one is the thermal expansion, thermal properties, that is are same in all directions. That will not depend on the direction for these materials. But actually we expect for this to be same in all the directions because of the regular arrangement. Because this is Y and we can write the let me draw the arrangement pattern. Some pattern of arrangement is that is taken. Again, here between. This is the pattern of arrangement of the two types of particles in the material. Now it is last row. Let me write that. This is the see. Now we have, this is the crystalline arrangement, regular arrangement of the atoms, or that's the material particles in the solid. This is some pattern is given, two-dimensional pattern is given for your understanding. Now what I am doing, see in this direction, if you pass the that is current in this direction or in this direction, only white particles are there. Composition is there. It has its own composition. And that is in this direction, that is there are white and red dots are alternatively present. Composition is different. Material particles are different. It's a refractive index in this direction, specific crystals in this direction is different. That is if instead of this is the, suppose in this direction, then only the white particles are present. In this direction, white and these are alternatively present. So in this direction, if you pass in this direction, that is red, only red particles are present. Red, this is the red and the white alternatively. In this direction, only white, or in this direction, only white, in this direction, only white, that is in this direction, only red. Therefore, with this, that is due to this, see, the physical property of the material, particularly refractive index, specific resistance, thermal properties, that is thermal expansion, purely depend on that is direction. So the crystalline solids show the certain physical properties depend on the direction. Therefore, that phenomena is called as anisotropic and is anisotropic. Whereas if you come to that is amorphous solids, that is they are isotropic. See, actually there irregular arrangement, there we expect this thing. But irregular arrangement in toto in all the directions, that is the composition is same, in toto composition is same. Therefore, that is the physical properties are, that is independent of the direction of the direction. From in all directions, that is same. That phenomena is called as the isotropic or isotropic. This phenomena is called as that is anisotropic. This is anisotropic materials. This is the something about that is the introductory part of the solid state.